Now, this is the kind of video that you don't wanna skip, okay? Unless you already know that by the title, that money doesn't buy happiness, okay? If you already know that, then you don't need to watch this video. But if you don't, if you think that what is this 17-year-old kid talking about, right? What does he know about money, right? How can he say that? Well, I'm gonna tell you a really simple story and my thoughts. Why I think that, why I know that with absolute certainty. I'm not rich yet. And I can say to you that money does not buy happiness. Okay? There was this man who won a lottery, right? And it's not just the one guy, I'm sure it has happened many, many times, but you hear how all these people who win lotteries and yeah, like they win these lotteries and then, or they win big in casino or something, and you hear how they all always end up in debts, right? They spend all their money, they end up in debts, and they end up being depressed. So how does this make sense that they didn't end up in debts and they didn't end up in depression when they earned a normal income? But now, when they got a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars, now they end up being depressed and, you know, in debts and stuff. How does that make sense? Like, obviously, like, you know, it already explains all the necessary things you need to know about that money doesn't buy happiness. But if you still don't believe me, then why does that happen, right? How, like, what is the psychological thing that happens? Now, don't overthink it, okay? It's not something about, it's not, it's simple empathy, 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 and just understanding humans, human psychology and everything. And from my experience too. So what happens is, right now they're here, right? They're earning the normal income, they're earning normal money, and now all of a sudden they win lottery, okay? Now, this is their happiness baseline, okay? It's like this, like, going like this. Sometimes goes up when you get something new, goes down when you lose something, okay? That's what being attached to your external things is, okay? If your happiness and your sadness relies on what happens externally, especially material things, then you're living wrong, okay? Then you need something to realize, you need that click, okay? So their happiness baseline is here, right? Now, what happens is, if they win the $1 million, now all of a sudden they're, like, before they couldn't buy, okay, let's take 10 million. Before they couldn't buy a Porsche, okay? So they couldn't, like, raise it up here. Now they have $10 million. Now they will do whatever they want, especially if they're, like, incompetent and financially not educated people. Then they will just start buying things. So what happens is, let's say they buy a Porsche, right? They get a Porsche and their happiness line all of a sudden jumps here, right? I can't, like, if I had a whiteboard, I could, like, draw it better, but you understand, right? They're here, and now their happiness is here. They buy the Porsche. They get a new thing, they're excited, their happiness is, they're happy. Money buys happiness for a while. Now they're here, right? Now they get bored of it, right? They get kind of like bored, they need new things. And here it goes up and up and up. And what happens is, why don't they just stop spending money? Why don't they just stop spending money when they have $1 million left? Okay? Now it might sound, maybe you understand it, that when they go up and up and up. Now, right now they were here. Now, they got the Porsche. They were like a little, this is like zoomed out scale. They got the Porsche, they're here. And now they have 5 Lamborghinis. They party every day. All of that, like whatever you want to think of. Now they're up here. So now buying one Porsche doesn't even move it. Now they need something more. They need more Lamborghinis. They need more parties. They need whatever, okay? To get a little bit more higher. Because right now their baseline is here. If they just kept it like whatever they had, then they would be bored. It would be the same kind of boredness that they had when they were here, when they didn't win the lottery, right? They were same kind of boredness, but now they're used to that dopamine, that ecstasy, that serotonin, whatever, right? They're used to that, so they can't just be bored now. They have so much money. I'm just gonna spend more. I'm gonna buy a more Lamborghini. I'm gonna buy more champagne. I'm gonna be giving away more. I'm gonna be doing whatever I want. So that's why they don't stop just at when you have 1 million left. It's psychologically not possible. I mean, it is, but since this person, they don't have any knowledge, they don't have any understanding of how it works, they just spend more and more, and they're attached to their emotions, okay? Their emotions control them, their actions. It seems rational to buy more Lamborghinis, more champagne, more parties for them at this point, right? For their emotions, it's rational because they need it, they're used to it, so they want to get more dopamine, right? People hate being bored. Okay, I'm not gonna go into that, but people hate being bored. That's why they don't leave here, especially if they gotten all that dopamine before. Now they need more, they need more. They can't be just, you have 1 million sitting in bank, you have to spend it. Because like, you're gonna be bored, right? So you kinda have to. Now what happens if the money runs out? They take debts, right? But fast forward, they don't have any money anymore. And now remember how the baseline was here, right? The normal baseline before they won the lottery. It was here. Now they're up here, okay? And this is like, you know, this is a lot of happiness. This is a lot of, you know, you understand? It's tall, okay? What happens if you're that tall and all of a sudden you don't have any energy, you don't have the fuel, which was money, to push it up anymore? What happens? You fall down. And the man, the story that I was talking about, he won a lottery. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but he unalived himself. But why? He won a lottery. His life was better than before. He had all that money. He climbed up so far with all that fuel that he didn't know how to deal with it when it ran out. It's possible to come out of it like alive, right? But it's very difficult, especially if you don't have that understanding, right? Then you're up there and you're like, fuck, right? I'm fucked. Now you don't have any money. Now you're cooked. Now you fall down. And that's how the man ended up unaliving himself. Because he didn't have, you know, money does not buy happiness. Okay? If you don't understand it in this video, then you will never understand it. Okay? Those who understand it, I'm glad. If I helped you make sense of it better, make your understanding of it better, good. I'm really glad. Leave a comment, definitely. So like, you know, if you still don't get it, if you still think that, what is the 17-year-old kid talking about, right? No, I don't believe you. Or if any rich person tells you that money does buy happiness, they're fucking with you, okay? They're fucking with you, or they don't know what they're doing, right? So, if you need one video to tell you that money doesn't buy happiness, then it's this one. It's 100% factual, 100% truth. You know, you can go on switching your opinion on money does buy happiness, money doesn't, but at the end of the day, this video is how it works, okay? So yeah, right now it's 11:44. I was sleeping and then I was like, oh shit, I gotta make a video for tomorrow. But since I'm away for tomorrow, I really don't have time to make a video tomorrow, then I had to get up at bed and make a video for you. Alright? Just for you. I hope I helped you understand it. Okay? I hope the click, happened. Or maybe you already understood it, right? That's good too. So yeah, don't attach yourself to external, especially materialistic things, okay? Learn to be bored. Learn to think and to be bored. And learn that money does not buy happiness, okay? That's about it for this video. See ya.